So we are meeting Divyanshi Singla, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you are a scientist?
Yes, ma'am. I've done my
honors
graduation in chemistry.
Chemistry, wow. And how do you think you are going to use chemistry with administrative issues?
Ma'am, there are various emerging branches of chemistry like
Right.
green chemistry, nanochemistry,
Yeah.
which have become more than relevant in today's administration, seeing the sustainable development which is the need of the hour. So I'll be able to use these principles of green chemistry in the administration whenever the situation demands.
Oh, that's good. So you tell me about E20 fuel. You must have heard E20
Yes, ma'am.
fuel.
Yes, ma'am.
What is it about?
Ma'am, it is about blending of ethanol in conventional fuel like petrol to make it more sustainable and to reduce the emissions of fossil fuels.
Okay. And is it derived from fossil? It will reduce fossil fuels, but where is it derived from?
Ma'am, it is derived from feedstock like sugarcane and other bio-organic substances like wheat and those containing starch and sugar.
Can it come out of jatropha also? Jatropha, there's a plant.
Ma'am, jatropha, use of jatropha is done to extract biodiesel.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So it might be able to help you out.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe. So tell me that there is a lot of talk on Mr. Adani, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And his influence on the stock market, which fell
Yes, ma'am.
for 2 days in India. So tell me, there was some report, Heidenberg report, on which the SEBI said that he wants a report in 72 hours on Adani. So did it happen? Because it already said 3 days ago. SEBI asked. So did they get the report or they are still waiting?
Ma'am, I'm not aware of this development.
Okay, it's all right. So tell me, I heard that there were 3 spy balloons
Yes, ma'am.
over America, Canada and Southern America. So who do you think is sending them?
Ma'am, the US authorities have alleged that Chinese government has sent them over the US skies in order to accomplish their spy operations over the US.
So they're collecting data or something? How are they managing that? I don't know.
Ma'am, the US authorities have alleged that they are trying to collect some data or some information to secure their government goals. However, the Chinese authorities have said that they are conducting only meteorological operations there.
Okay, but when the US with F something shot them down, right? So then nothing was found in those balloons, like there was nothing to record data or anything. So it was just flying, that's what they say.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, US authorities have shot that down in speculation
Okay.
that there was something which might collect data and which might infringe with their data sovereignty and territorial integrity.
Okay. So tell me about glacial valleys. Glacier, जानती हैं? Glacier.
Yes, ma'am.
And there are valleys which are formed by the glacier when it moves down, right? So what type of valleys are they? Are they round? Are they vertical? What type of valleys?
Sorry, ma'am, I'm not
You have
aware.
not heard about them. Okay, that's all right. Right, sir?
Divyanshi, you are a graduate from Ramjas College.
Yes, sir.
3-4 days back, I was reading one write-up about the history of your college.
Yes, sir.
Do you have something to inform us about the history of your college?
Sir, Ramjas College was founded by Kedarnath Rai in memory of his beloved father, Lala Ramjas Mal. He was an educationist in one of the schools in Delhi, and he had a dream to start a college to support the education of students from socio-economic backward community so that they can continue their education after school. Therefore, he founded a college in the premises of Daryaganj at first. Afterwards, it shifted to the present location, which is today's location.
There was a location somewhere in the middle of this, second location of
Yes,
your college,
sir,
near Kala Parbat.
Yes, sir.
Are you aware of the present name of that Kala Parbat in Delhi?
Sir, I read the name, but I'm not able to recall at this moment.
Okay. Anand Parvat.
Anand Parvat. Thank you, sir.
All right. So you have chemistry as your subject.
Yes, sir.
This was not the subject with which you cleared this examination, but this is the subject in which you were trained.
Yes, sir.
Now we get to hear a lot about the dismal condition of the higher education in our country, and we keep bemoaning about the lack of industry-university linkage.
Yes, sir.
So where is the problem and what could be the possible solutions?
Sir, there are various problems when it comes to higher education. First of all, the lack of industry-academia linkage, which does not cater to the new age skills that are required in the 21st century, like artificial intelligence, 3D printing, etc. Second is, sir, there is a lack of autonomy given to the universities and colleges in terms of their financial independence and the setting up of their syllabus, etc. Third is, sir, there is lack of flexibility. That is, there is a lack of interdisciplinarity and multidisciplinarity in colleges. There is a particular focus.
So I was thinking about this. Good that you mentioned this interdisciplinarity or transdisciplinarity and so forth. Do you think that early India, the way education stood, the way knowledge system operated in early part of our Indian history, it was more transdisciplinary as compared to the vertical silos under which we study things in the modern times?
Yes, sir, it is true to an extent, because in early India there was a focus on vocational education and developing the holistic personality of an individual so that he or she can cater to the real life challenges. However, with the modernization, specialization has taken place, under which focus has been laid on specializing.
Are you aware of some of the specialized texts pertaining to, say, medicine or geometry or arithmetics from early India? Have you heard of such texts or even its authors?
Sir, one that is coming to my mind is the text written by Sushruta on surgical medicine, and one that is written by
Anything around
Aryabhatta.
Rasayan? Have you come across this term in early context, early Indian context? Rasayan, that's the Hindi name of your subject.
Chemistry.
Okay, so keeping that aside, tell me about your favorite sociologist. Sociology is the subject that you chose to clear this exam.
Yes, sir.
Who is your favorite sociologist?
Sir,
Sociological thinker, I mean.
if I am to talk about modern day sociologist, then 𝐒𝐕𝚘𝚜𝚜 is my favorite sociologist, because she has come about with intersectionality of caste and gender when she talks about the discrimination that is meted out to the Dalit women, who has to face both the atrocities because of her caste and her gender as well. So she has drawn out the intersectionality of crime.
We are told that most of the tribal communities and settlements that we get to encounter in the modern times are not the locale where they originally inhabited. They are displaced ones.
Yes, sir.
So how credible are the ethnographic studies that are carried out with the assumption that they have been staying at the same place for centuries together?
Sir, this is true that tribal groups that we study today, they have been displaced. However, their cultures have remained same to an extent. Also, sir, the studies have been done on the tribal groups like in Andamans, who have stayed there for many generations. So these studies remain more or less credible. However, there are issues that are need to be dealt with.
Are you aware of, can you tell us something about the upsurge in national industries, including chemicals and related to chemistry, during the Swadeshi movement of Indian struggle for independence?
Sir, there was one industry by Jagdish Bose. I'm not I'm not able to recall the name. And there was one ship industry also.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Divyanshi, very interesting. I would like to understand from you, in the last 3 or 4 days, there was a report that because of a DNA mapping of an Indian street dog and the Australian Aboriginal dog, it is said that the Australian Aboriginals originated from India. Have you read this report?
No, sir, I have not come across.
Okay, then we'll go back to your original graduation subject, that is chemistry.
Yes, sir.
What do we mean by half-life of an element?
Sir, half-life of an element refers to the time in which it will deteriorate to 50% of its original content.
Right. So what does it signify? Okay, never mind. You remember the periodic table?
Yes,
How
sir.
many elements are there in the periodic table currently?
Sir, 118 elements are
118, that's a sizable number. When I last studied, it was 107. So there's an increase of 11 elements. And how do you name the later elements? How are they named?
there. Sir, lanthanides and actinides, they are
Right,
called.
right. And when I was studying chemistry, there were just 3 branches of chemistry. I think organic, inorganic, and physical.
Yes, sir.
Right? But today you mentioned that is green chemistry. What is the concept of green chemistry?
Sir, green chemistry refers to the chemistry which involves use of sustainable substances, in the sense that there will be less emission of hazardous chemicals as waste. So the focus is on minimum wastage and maximum utilization of the sustainable resources that we have in our environment. For example, by using an orange peel, we can make something useful, or by using tulsi leaves, we can make fuel, etc.
There are so many applications. Chemistry is a wonderful science. Tell me, who is your favorite chemistry scientist and why? Anywhere in the world, not necessarily Indian. The host of them, I can give you Linus Pauling.
Yes, sir.
Okay, not comfortable on that. We'll go shift gears then. Come to Haryana. There is a very adverse gender ratio in Haryana,
Yes, sir.
and it is a cause of concern. Why do you think it's happening?
Sir, there are various reasons behind this skewed sex ratio in Haryana. First is the patriarchal mindset, which still prevails in many parts of the society in Haryana. Second,
I belong to a different generation. What is meant by patriarchal? Can you explain that to me?
sir, patriarchal mindset refers to the mindset or attitude which focuses upon the authority of male, and it implies that male is superior to female in terms of his strength and other capabilities. So it gives a women a subordinate position over that of male.
Okay, but what a tragedy. If there is any state that has proved that females are the superior sex, it's Haryana. Look at the number of Olympic medals that the Haryana girls have got. That would be even more than the total that Indians may have got elsewhere. And still this mindset, it's a tragedy. Well, we'll go into that. But tell me, amongst the Haryana girls, how many medals has Haryana won, the Haryana women folk, in sports and games? Olympic medals only.
Sir, I'm not aware of the exact number.
Okay, tell me, who are the girls who have brought glory to India?
Sir, first of all is Fogart sisters, who have done a tremendous job in wrestling. Second is Hima Das.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
the Women's Cricket League in India also has come of age, and recently, within the last 3 days, there have been auctions of the women cricket players, and they have earned in crores. Would you be aware of these developments, that the women cricket team now, the number of spectators who are witnessing women's cricket has increased by 5 times.
Yes, sir.
The viewership has increased many-fold, and therefore there is a great demand for women's cricket.
Yes, sir.
So, would you tell me who are the main cricketers who have got crores?
Sir, I think I need to read about
Okay,
this.
wonderful, wonderful, never mind. And there's also very concerned. On one hand, we talk of patriarchy, then there are wonderful girls like you, but still I'm not very comfortable about the security ecosystem for women, especially in Delhi and the NCR.
Yes, sir.
We have had the 𝐁𝐿𝐵𝐴 case, we have had so many statutes, we have 𝐁𝐿𝐵𝐴 fund, we have special patrol cars, anti-Romeo squads, but I feel nothing has changed after 2013. I may be a pessimist, but the ground reality is that what I see is nothing has changed. Please contradict me or confirm me with your arguments.
Sir, this is true that despite many laws and policies in place, women is still undergoing this issue of gender-based crimes, be it in Delhi or any other part of India. There are various issues or reasons which are behind this. First of all, sir, there is a lack of safe public infrastructure. Public spaces are not safe in terms of that there are various dark spots in Delhi, and streets are not
You'll
safe for
forgive
women.
me, dark spots or no-go? Dark spots or no-go?
Sir, street lights are not there and they are not well lit
Okay, you
areas.
stick to the illumination part. Yes.
Yes, sir. Sir, second is women is underrepresented in various spheres of life, be it political, social and economical, due to which there is still a discrimination which is meted out to women. Sir, third is there is not a focus on capacity building of women herself. For example, in various colleges of Delhi University, defense training is given to girls to develop their capacity and capability building. So there is lack of focus on that.
You have said it all, but I would also like to understand that if I was just seeing that you have given Indian Police Service as your second choice,
Yes, sir.
rightfully so. I would like to understand from you, will women police officers in every police station, as is mandated, that every police station should have a woman police officer, does it help or it makes no difference, or is it counterproductive, and why? Presence of a police officer in every police station of the country.
Yes, sir. Sir, adequate representation of women in police is very important to sensitize the police as a whole. And when it comes to gender-related crimes, I think it will lead to expediting the investigation and registering of FIRs in gender-related crimes. So the adequate representation will lead to effective sensitization of the police force, and it will give a greater say to the women in society and inspire them to be part of police force.
Now my last question to you.
Yes, sir.
I put a question before you that was said almost 50 years ago. To be a good police officer, you have to be a half butcher and half human. Have you understood what I have said?
Yes, sir.
But today, you have to be a friendly police officer. Old school still says, unless you are a half butcher, you are not a successful police officer. Your take. Would you agree with the old or disagree with the old? Or you would agree that she has to be a friend first? Butchery has no place in a civilized society.
Sir, in my opinion, the police has to be strict as well as sensitive at the same time, so as to serve the goal of human welfare in society. In areas where it needs to be strict, for example, to enforce traffic rules and other laws in society, it has to be strict. However, the due course of law, that should not be forgotten. The procedure must be applied according to the fair procedure that has been mentioned in law. So that should not be compromised with.
Thank you, Divyanshi. That will be all.
Thank you, sir.
Haryana is one of the most advanced states in economic terms.
Yes, sir.
Agriculture, industry, everything.
Yes, sir.
And yet socially, as you yourself said, a lot of patriarchy, gender indicators are very bad.
Yes, sir.
How is there this type of inconsistency? It is often thought that economic development will lead to positive social change.
Yes, sir.
So what's happened in Haryana?
Sir, although Haryana is doing quite well in terms of economic progress, however, social change is not aligned with the economic progress that has happened there. Sir, in my opinion, there needs to be a mindset change. which can be done with adequate awareness and sensitization.
But let me stop you there. My question is, why hasn't the economic development brought about that change, that attitudinal change that you are
Yes,
talking
sir.
about? In other parts of the world, it is often said in sociology that economic development has brought about social
Yes,
change.
sir.
Why has it not happened in Haryana?
Sir, this is because various traditional institutions still have a hold there, like social institutions like 𝐒𝐓𝐃𝐑𝐓𝐒 and the issues related to caste conflicts. Caste is still an important factor when it comes to various things like marriages, etc. So, in that sense, Haryana has not evolved socially.
Is there a difference between rural and urban Haryana in this respect?
Yes, sir, there is a difference between rural and urban Haryana, in the sense that urban Haryana has seen the social change in terms of women getting education, higher number of women getting education, and intercaste marriages happening there. However, in rural Haryana, caste discrimination still prevails and 𝐒𝐃𝐑𝐓𝐃𝐑𝐓𝐒 have a hold there.
Right, now one related question. What is the percentage of reservation for women in Panchayati Raj institutions in Haryana?
Sir, I think it is 33%.
So what impact has that had? Since at least 1/3 of these representatives
Yes,
would be
sir.
women, has it not had some impact on rural areas in terms of social
Sir,
change?
yes,
Social
sir.
change.
So, representation of women in panchayats has definitely had some impact, in the sense that it has empowered women in giving her a greater decision making in household as well as at village level. However, sir, there are issues like Sarpanchpati syndrome, which makes women a dummy representative, and her husband or her father-in-law has a greater say in decision making. Also, there is a lack of training given to the women candidates or the women sarpanches who hold power. So, there is a lot need to be done on this front.
What can be done? That's the last question. What can be done? You're saying lot.
Yes,
What?
sir. Sir, first of all, effective training has to be given to the women candidates and the women who
What
are
about the
in
men?
power.
Do they not need training? The men representatives are very aware and so on. Is that what you're saying? It's only the women who need training.
Sir, it is not that men representatives are aware about their functions and powers that they have. However, women belonging to the vulnerable section, they face other issues like stereotyping and prejudice, etc. So they have to be empowered that they also have the same rights as men, and they should not take any discrimination. Rather, they should fight back the discrimination that happens with them in the society.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Divyanshi, should retired judges be appointed as governors?
Sir, although there is no bar on appointment of retired judges, however, the justice that they are mandated with while they are in judiciary, that should not be compromised with. That is, justice should be done without any fear or favor. So, to protect this principle, in my opinion, they should not be appointed as governor or any other constitutional post after retirement, or there should be a proper cooling off period specified for them to be appointed on any constitutional post.
Is it prohibited constitutionally?
No, sir, it is not prohibited constitutionally.
Have there been such appointments in the past?
Yes, sir. There have been appointments of retired judges as Rajya Sabha MP, etc.
So, why wasn't this taken care of? And how are you going to prevent the misuse of such appointments? What constitutional provision is required? You said cooling off period, and you said gave me one.
Yes, sir. Since it is not provided in the constitution, so it must be provided for by some law or legal framework. There must be some cooling off period, as is there in other cases other government services. So that can help to prevent the conflict of interest or independence of judiciary.
But you feel that this event is a threat to judicial independence?
Yes, sir.
Potential threat?
Yes, sir.
You are interested in bhangra and giddha.
Yes, sir.
What is the difference between the two? And what tradition does it belong to, this kind of an art?
Sir, the major difference between bhangra and giddha is that in bhangra, both male and female perform the dance. However, in giddha, only females are the performers. This is the major difference between the two. Also, the themes of bhangra and giddha varies. In giddha, the women express their emotions through the various bolis that are there in giddha, and they find a way to escape their daily household chores and daily struggles that they come across. Sir, the bhangra and giddha, the tradition of these dances started with the harvest season of agriculture in Punjab area of undivided India.
It belongs to the classical tradition or folk tradition?
Sir, it is a folk tradition.
What is the difference between classical and folk tradition?
Sir, the classical traditions, they've also originated from folk tradition. However, with the passing of time, they have become more refined and rules-based. So there are various strict rules that have to be followed in classical traditions and classical dances. In folk traditions, they are mostly based upon the daily life, everyday life of the people belonging to a particular region. So there are not very strict rules there. However, they are distinct from other folk dances or folk traditions.
What have you personally gained in following these art traditions?
Sir, there are various values that I have learned. First is the importance of teamwork. Second is the leadership value that I have learned. Third is, sir, the importance of energy and enthusiasm in conducting the daily works or the daily activities that we involve ourselves in.
Right.
Yes, sir.
And who's your source of inspiration in these traditions?
Sir, there is no particular source of inspiration in these traditions. However, when I see the art which involves the rhythmic dances and the clappings and various steps, which involves a huge amount of energy and enthusiasm, they are the source of inspiration for me to follow this art.
Thank you.
Do well. Good luck.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank
Yeah.
you, sir. Thank you.